Roxanne Perez, NXT Women's Champion, thank you for joining me today. Firstly, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much. On Tuesday, we watched you successfully defend your women's championship against Thea Hall. You are the youngest two-time NXT Women's Champion, and even before that, you were the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and you're now just 22. So, how does it feel to have achieved these accomplishments already? Because you are one of those people that it's like, oh, Roxanne's 22 and did this. What have you done with your life? So, how does
Yeah, it's awesome. Like it's so cool. I feel like like every single day. Sorry, the background. Um, every single day I'm like living my dream, and I feel like it just goes to show like all the hard work that I put in since starting at 13 years old. Like it's all paying off. So it's really cool to experience all the things that I'm experiencing.
Yeah, well, probably because of your youth. Like when you came in, we saw you like portray such a happy babyface character, and then earlier this year, you made a shift to who you are now. How did you come to that decision to make this change in your character?
I think like when I first got to the WWE, I was still I didn't really know exactly who I was, so to say. I was still so nervous. I was just starstruck to just be in I finally had my dream job. So I felt like uh just kind of still doubting myself, wondering if, am I really able to hold this championship at 20 years old? Am I living up to the prodigy name? And I think I kind of had to just throw all of those doubts away and really make people stop underestimating me. And I think that's when I finally made the switch and was just like, you know what? Like I am the prodigy. I am one of the best women's wrestlers in the world right now. I've been training for this since for almost 10 years. So I think it's finally time for me to start, knowing who I am and showing everybody who I am.
Hmm. Were there any heel characters that you took some inspiration from or watched?
Yeah, I mean, my parents, AJ Lee, CM Punk, they were my favorite heels growing up. The Rock, when he was a heel, he was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up as well. Randy Orton, there's so many, like, I could name so many.
If we were to sit down now and watch a Roxy match from Ring of Honor, what do you think would stand out to you as the big differences of how you've evolved to who you are now as a wrestler?
Ooh, I think it's just definitely knowing who I am now.
Mhm,
In Ring of Honor, I was just starting to get my groove in like the bigger companies. I did do Booker T's Reality of Wrestling for a couple years, so that definitely set me up for Ring of Honor. But I feel like I said, like now I know exactly who I am, and I'm not letting any doubts get into my head. I'm a two-time NXT Women's Champion. Like you said, I was a world champion before I even got here. So, yeah, it's time to start, making sure that everybody knows exactly what I'm
mhm.
capable of.
Well, the NXT women's division is about to get two huge international names joining, Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer. How do you see their arrivals enhancing the division, and how much does the thought of wrestling them excite you?
Oh, I'm very excited for them to come over here, and I'm so ready. I've seen a lot of amazing matches from both of them, so I
Mhm.
definitely think that they're gonna help elevate our division. Our division is already so stacked. I feel like I can honestly say that we have the best women's division in the world. So especially getting two of the best women's wrestlers from around the world now joining our division, I think it's gonna be so good for us. But I think everybody needs to make sure that they know I'm the NXT Women's Champion. So whoever comes, like I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Well, we had TNA's Jordan Grace come and you beat her. And
Yeah.
NXT has this relationship with TNA, and there also seems to be a relationship with Marigold, where Julia is right now. Is defending the women's championship outside of NXT something that appeals to you or you would push for?
Oh yeah, you know, I don't really know exactly what the future holds, but anything can happen in the WWE. So yeah, I would totally be open to it. Like I said, I'm ready for any challenge out there.
After you beat Thea, you put out like a challenge to anyone, and someone that I saw respond was TNA's Giselle Shaw. Is she someone that you would like to wrestle in the future?
Oh, of course. Like I said, like anybody from around the world, I'm so open to put this on the line. And Giselle Shaw, she's amazing. She's so talented. She's just amazing. I could say so many things about her, but amazing is one of them. So yeah, Giselle Shaw, come and get it. Come and
Um,
try.
One of your former opponents, the legendary Meiko Satomura, she announced she's retiring next year, and you had two memorable singles matches with her. Would you like to do a third before she calls it a day?
I would love to. Oh my God, I would love to. Meiko Satomura, she was my dream opponent since probably since I was about like 16 years old.
Mhm.
So coming into the WWE right away and getting two matches against her within a few months of me being there was like just insane, like kind of like a pinch me moment. You know, I really think that she is like, if not the best, like one of the best women's wrestlers, not women's wrestlers, one of the best wrestlers in the entire world. So I am sad to see that she is going to be retiring next year, but I really, really hope I get to have just one more match.
Mhm. You mentioned before CM Punk, and he's been around NXT. You know, we've seen him, we saw him meeting you. What's it like to have him there and have him take an interest in the NXT brand?
It's awesome. It's so cool for all of us, I think. I grew up watching him. I grew up, you know, kind of wanting to be where he was. So now being able to be under his learning tree and he's just so awesome. Like I feel like he doesn't have to do everything that he does. You know, he will literally just drop by the NXT pay-per-views. He was there at Las Vegas Battleground just to watch all of our matches. Just he was in yeah, sorry, Battleground. So I think it's like really cool just to be able to, for him to just go out of his way to do that and help us out and see if we need any you know, critiques or any advice or anything. He's always there. So yeah, it's been really, really cool to learn from him.
Have you got a chance to talk to or meet AJ Lee through him?
So I did meet her a few years back when I was with Ring of Honor. I did do a meet and greet. I met her when I was about 13 years old.
Mhm.
Then we crossed paths again at that meet and greet, and it was right before I was in the process of getting signed for WWE. So she gave me a lot of really, really cool advice, and yeah, she's amazing.
I feel like with AJ, like she's really incredibly influential in a way that she hasn't got to be honored in that way yet. Like I look at you, Cora Jade, even someone like Sky Blue in AEW, and I see that like you all clearly took influence from AJ and watched her. What was it about her that when you were growing up that made her so influential?
I think you know, I grew up watching WWE, so I remember when I first started watching, it was, you know, the Divas era. So I was a little like f- 4 foot nothing
Mm,
tomboy, Latina, and you know, watching some of the girls sometimes, I thought it was just so impressive, and I wanted to be just like them, but I didn't really feel like I could have the possibility of doing that one day because I couldn't like really see myself in any of them. And once I saw AJ Lee, you know, she was a tomboy. She had the Converse. She played video games. She had always wanted to be a WWE wrestler, and she was very open about that. I related to that so much, like so much, and it really made me realize, like, wow, if she can do it, I can definitely do it one day. And not only was she a wrestler, but she was a manager. She was WWE GM. She was on in all the main men's storylines, and I just thought that that was so inspiring, and I hope that I can accomplish all of those things and more one day.
mhm. Do you think we'll see her wrestle again?
I hope so. I really, really hope so. Hopefully one day she'll come back and maybe have a match with me.
So when your time at NXT comes to an end, like what is your kind of dream main roster, like proper debut scenario when you picture it in your head? How would you like it to go down?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I feel like there's so many ways that it could go, but Bayley is a WWE champion right now, and she is someone that I really, really looked up to growing up, and I mean, now I'm not so much into my heroes anymore. I'm kind of my own heroes, so I want to see what Bayley has to say about that.
In NXT, you've done like many different types of matches, ladder matches. What are the other like match types that you would like to explore while you're there?
Hmm. Um. Yeah. So I have done a cage match. I would love to do a TLC match. I'd
Mhm.
love to do that. I'd love to do an Iron Man match.
Oh, really? Wh-
Yes.
Who do you think could last with you in an Iron Man match for, say, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, like however they make it?
Ooh. I mean, honestly, like I feel like Thea Hell really showed out against me the
Mm,
other night, and with all the back and forth we were doing with our submissions, I definitely feel like we could have gone a good 30 minutes. So I
yeah.
feel like there's so many women that I could really go up against for 30 minutes. Like I said, our NXT women's division is stacked. So many talented women. So anyone.
You mentioned Booker T earlier that had a big hand in your early career. What's it like wrestling every week in front of him with him being on commentary? Like, how surreal is that?
I was just about to say it's pretty surreal.
Mhm.
Like having my trainer since I was 16 years old, and now he's there commentating my every single match, and it definitely made me feel more comfortable coming into NXT. Obviously, it was so nerve wracking, but having him there, and it was it was really surreal moment when I won the NXT championship the first time, and he was there, and we got to share that moment. It was really, really cool. Like I owe a lot to Booker T for everything that he did for me growing up.
And with everything that you've done so far at 22, when you look to the future, kind of what are your immediate goals or ca- like how hard is it to plan when these things have already happened so fast?
Yeah, I mean just once I end my career, I just really hope that I've created a long-lasting legacy to where there's one day there's a bunch of little girls or even like boys that come up to me and say, because of you, that is why I'm a WWE wrestler. Um, but yeah, that's my goal.
That's awesome. And finally, what's your dog's name?
My dog's name, I have two. So one is a golden retriever. His name is Wyatt, and my other is a Yorkie Chihuahua. His name is Gohan. So like complete opposite.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, Roxanne. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.